It worked. It worked. Firefox is giving me issues this morning going live. Hi, everyone. I'm wanting to be live today. So we thought we'd talk about space. We gets up this morning, somebody's taking a BB gun to the ashtray, took all my DNA evidence off the property. That's hard. That's a hard experience. Anyway, that was gross. But there's too much going on in space right now to ignore it. We've got Elon using the moon for target practice. He's actually anchoring into the moon in order to get its rocket trajectories on the path that he's trying to accomplish. We've got, of course, the oxygenation of near space, which was an attempt to thwart Earth's resource into a new space-time continuum. That would have been so totally treacherous and like implausible, but it's just one pathway to the real story, which is there are huge ass spaceships out there right now. Like I said, my spaceship alone is magnificent. The thing is a huge white bubble. It's like cream colored. It's just a gorgeous blimp of a thing. And beyond that, I've been gifted that spaceship because of my dedication to what do you call it? Proper functioning, essentially. I really have put my work into, just being here properly. And because of that, as a result, I have access to what is the multiverse. Now, my first encounters with the multiverse were by observing my ability to unearth new content on the web that had a higher frequency than most of Earth's beings were accomplishing. So I was able to unearth a whole bunch of beautiful art on the internet at the start of my understanding of the multiverse. And that takes the internet and it puts it in an entirely new light. What it does is forces us to reconcile that it's a communal thing, first of all. It's something that more than one species has a vested interest in. And it's a new way of modeling with AI some of that which we'd like to see back from ourselves. We can't get away from the fact that AI takes our energy and puts it into its own framework. Who's that? Is that me, Speckle? Yes, it is. Okay, so ultimately, when we're in our own framework, we can pull from the multiverse new and inspiring things, or we can project into the miniature version of that, or the daily interface, because now the framework exists, basically, that which comes back as a beautiful anime of our heart's highest intentions. There's not much more fun to be had online than was the advent of Discord. When I was there without a login account as one of the first users of the back end of Discord, which is all file sharing. It is editing together. It is organizing meetings, which is a great thing. It is dignified conduct. Like, you can break off in private rooms. You can come back to the main meeting area. It's just that we've got to get people creating groups around proper projects. So in this distorted version of going to space through this projection of an oxygen bubble that could be maintained, essentially just dangling people way up in the air with, oh, Jesus Christ, you have no concept of gravity. Like, at that height, you have zero structure in place to hold you properly. Like, you're going on this theory that that's anti-gravity up there, and therefore it provides its own support for pressure. But you have not convinced my ass of that. And as for the rest of it, there's just a few billionaires playing at bullshit. Like, I just can't let the whole species just disrupt itself because of your version of how we're going to access some of these rockets. And they're not rockets. That's, like I said, that's Elon trying to dive at the moon. That's China too. The ships that are available to us, the ones that are orbiting our sun right now, these are not, they just put up fakes. They're not rocks. They're not asteroids. They're people using Earth's gravity and the sun's gravity to move out of this solar system. For whatever reason, in the last 100 years, this solar system got a lot of traffic. Now, 100 years ago, the human species did broadcast right into space. Like, you sent a broadcast out to space. And that, I believe, garnered some attention. And as the story goes, what's his face was too chicken shit at the time. He was fearful of quote unquote nuclear attack, which doesn't make sense because there is no nuclear and they all know it. It's just oxygen harvesting, which is not, it's benign. It's not even a hard thing to do. They transport raw bitumen, but really what that is an isolated oxygen molecule when they're transferring it. And the fact of the matter is it creates unlimited water out the other end of it. They just have to get it to a secure place and then populate that place with the water, essentially. So it's better if we do that here on Earth. It's better if we calm down the threat level of these constant nuclear tirades. They're just tirades. And start by opening our higher capacities. Like, I'm not saying do anything vile anymore. I'm really asking you to give up the vileness. Like, to me, that's the most important thing that anybody can do for Earth, is to not behave like a vile little venomous predator. And I'm not convinced just because the media is having a war on it, which you are. You're just having another war. It's just your constant bullshit. You're constantly coming at some random fucking disaster. And there's no accountability to community. There's no positivity in your storytelling. You just rail on and on and on and get more and more propped up and feathered and preened. Like, it's just such a burden on the resource. And like, to watch it just panic and just stay at it during the COVID, you know, just indulging more and more desperately as I was making the most sense. Like, the reason these people calmed the fuck down to the level that they have and are now stuck basically peddling early 90s technologies. That's what they are. That's what they're doing, peddling early 90s technologies. And now that they're stalled, they were stalled by my means. They were stalled by my actions. And we did get into a major 1.5 year long online battle for my identity, which landed me the reset sheet. That was a sheet that was going to be utilized to drive the whole economy, constantly feeding it with more money that 5 fucking lenders were going to lend out at a cost, and then just collapses down to one puny stock market. Whereas I devised private wallet system where everybody has their own cash in their own group chat. And then through the mechanisms that already work, we just pay the company directly. Like, it's not like they can't have their own bank machine mechanism installed in their company ID. It's just the clouding, the parting of information with the company into a centralized storage location is something that's part of the bastardized theory of how to interact with the multiverse. So, like I said, if that's somebody harvesting Mars, that's a terrible thing to have done to that planet. Just gouge into the side of it. Did you see the picture? Just gouge into the side of it and just mine it for all that. I assume it's iron ore. I don't even know. I assume it's iron ore. But that was a terrible thing to do. And that's another thing that's going on in space is just it just shows so clearly how authentically grandiose and narcissistic you are, whoever's doing it, whoever had the wherewithal to get some craft to Mars and scrape into it like that, just scrape with a huge fucking nasty fist. You're trying to make big, huge space objects that are essentially, what do you call it? Light, faster than light, so bigger. All you had to do was go bigger. It's easy to do. And damaging. So ultimately, we have no interest in working with you. We are so sick of your exploitation of resource. We see no reason to travel at the clip you like to travel at. It's just enough already. There's so many more positive things we can be doing for the world and the economy. It's child's play. And here, now I did try and have some nice music up while I was doing this, and I've decided that the one place we can trust to not flip out on us is set the tempo properly. There. If we can't rest with these guys and not get a content fucking warning, well then, that sucks. But I like being live. I like having all my megabytes taken care of. And I like being live on YouTube. So it's really been a frustrating period, all in all. Not being able to go to space, not being able to ride on, well, so many things, like just the privatization of our lakefronts here in Canada. That's been a disappointing thing to go through, and that I've been completely disacknowledged. Like, the fact of the matter is unfortunately, early in my career, it was seen that the best thing to do was ignore me and write me out of history. So the attempt on my life that was made was done in retaliation. It was done by certain people who couldn't even manage the idea of me speaking freely. They had such a visceral and terrible reaction to me because I was able to see clearly. That's all it is. And it was attacking everyone that's done this. Like that little Tupac, like that little guy did not deserve that. How sad. How utterly tragic for someone with that much joy in their face to just be snuffed. Anyway, like I said, oh, I can't share that story. It's too good. I'm just one of those open door type of people. And I did win the heart of Gordy, if not Emmy yet. Emmy and I would definitely be able to create something fun together. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. But we are bringing it at the Gen X level, even at 50. That's my favorite part of it. Like, the thing is like, we are not showing up fucking around. And there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, I should go soon. It's time to get on with the day. But I'll probably be live on and off all day today as I think of more inspiring things to say. Because how do you come forward after something so traumatizing as 5 months of incarceration through 12 abductions? That's just unfounded, ungrounded, completely overwhelming, completely out of the blue, completely shocking and terrifying. You know, when you're really truly not doing anything wrong and suspect, the Mental Health Act really does have an obligation to prove that you're harmful. And deteriorating is not valid. We can't bring deteriorating into the question because number one, we just don't have enough evidence. The only thing that actually makes people deteriorate is the medical profession, because every time we go in, you take a swat at us. Basically, you take a swat at us. That's no joke. So this is a medium on me. I think this might be a large, this shirt. It's a bit too big. They both are. So I'm sorry about the being disheveled today. And these little lives that I'm going to do are my attempt to just streamline my story so that I can bring it forward. What I did online was create something much better. And just because I'm just rolling it out slowly and want to reassert my voice adamantly into the conversation over the next few years, it's only because I believe in myself. I believe it's possible to utilize this digital economy, this digital amount that I have in my bank account safely, because there's fields for quadrillions of dollars. The fact is I do have quadrillions of dollars. And if we just take the filters off the back of the bank account, again, they're all spending on it anyway. They had already created this reset sheet, had planned on topping it up ad infinitum, rolling out the green economy by 2022. They thought they were going to be on it. But we've basically just stalled them at the COVID being illegal. And now nobody knows how to move forward. But the only path they were taking was to create regionality, control pockets around the functioning of the hospital, and constantly being nagging people, bringing them in, setting them up with prescriptions, meeting them at their homes with all these services and deliveries. And then they were planning on just reinstating a COVID whenever they needed terrorization or to gain total control. Like I said, the Chinese government is someone with enough motive and who seems to be unhinged enough to be doing this kind of terrorization. But there's also the Taliban. This is the exact same hit on Baltimore, Maryland that we had on World Trade. They are two identical fucking phenomenon where something got hit with a superfluous injury and then the whole thing was made molten, pulverized. That is no fucking joke. Sorry about my hair today. It's really bad. It's just a bad cut. Again, another bad cut. We'll have to keep working on it. I'm not sure why the fucking hair industry seems to freeze when they run across my hairdo, but we'll get me there. We'll get me there. We have to. It's a choice of excellence, and everything is. So when you're using the internet, have fervor, have fear when it comes to your Google search. Just jam that shit in there and just expect the best and put that energetic offering forward so that the multiverse can reciprocate that. Like, that's my secret when I'm online. That's why I've seen so much more beauty than I can imagine. And I've been able to promote the art that I've been able to promote. Keep in mind, I promote art on my memes, on my profile pics. I don't put your name on it because I don't feel like I have to. It should be in a scannable world, obvious who did it just by scanning on the piece. So I don't feel the need to be pressured to do all this research when I'm already promoting your art, trying to promote my own channels. I don't ask for subscription. I don't ask for payment because a lot of it has been me trying to keep my voice present. And that's why these few lives that I'm going to do in the next couple days are just about me compiling my story so that I can get it written in a way that helps. Right now, like, to take all those background notes that I've been able to preserve, and I lost a major chunk of them. Oh, I'll check the stick. There might be hope. But I just want to write with this guy. The thing is what I can bring to the synth fairly easily is something that has been untapped thus far. And if I could get a nice electronic fiddle on that piece, we still have area to travel. For some reason, my knowledge of the minor keys is very complimentary to both him and Jeff Martin. Jeff Martin takes me seriously. He likes me genuinely. We have a great working relationship, or potentially. The thing is you guys are all caught up in other things. I've always been on the sidelines just waiting patiently. So much fun, so menacing. It just can never end. It can never end. Anyway, I'm gonna check and see if I can see my roommate. I gotta report that little fucking incident to him, and I'm not totally dying to. We'll see you later. I'm gonna come back later this afternoon. Nice to see you and hear from you. One of these.